Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Someone once asked me if I'd ever spent a birthday with anyone that was not my family, and I remember feeling very hurt by that comment because I've spent every birthday of my life with my family, and I understand, many people are in situations where they are not able to have that kind of connection with their family, and I totally understand that. In my own family, I'd say we've had our shares of high highs and low lows, but I am very grateful that I have been able to spend now 30 birthdays with my wonderful family. And to show you how wonderful they are, I'm going to be sharing some of the gifts that I got for my birthday. Honestly, I wanted to do something really big for this one because obviously it's a bit of a milestone, but I just ended up having them over for some food and some cake, and we actually went to their house for cake, and then afterwards we watched a couple episodes of one of my favorite adaptations of any classic film, or classic book that is, and that's the Sherlock Holmes series with Jeremy Brett, which is, yes, one of my all-time favorites, such a wonderful series. We watched The Crooked Man and The Speckled Band. And that was so much fun, such a wonderful way to spend this birthday. And I just felt filled with so much joy. So I just want to say that if you're someone out there that is more of a homebody, more of a family person, there's absolutely no shame in that. Whatever makes you happy for your birthday is something I would recommend. But anyway, so going on to the gifts here. So these gifts are from my parents and my siblings. The first one here is this wonderful sticker book called Ephemera. I probably should have looked up how to pronounce that in advance. That's something I'm trying to get better at in my videos, but sometimes I forget. Anyway, an unforgettable vintage sticker book. This was something that was on my list, and it's just so much fun. I mean, if you like old books, then you probably like these old-timey designs as well. And I'm all about that kind of stuff. In fact, I used to be even more into it than I am now. When I was a teenager, I was just really into Victorian style, steampunk style, that kind of thing. I mean, look at that. There's like a steampunk seahorse. So this is right up my alley. And I've been wanting to do kind of classic literature themed scrapbooks for a long time, so this might actually be something that gets me started with that. There's some really quirky stuff in here too, but it's just so much fun, and I love stickers. I'm never going to be too old for stickers, so there's some really pretty Victorian designs there. So yeah, I absolutely love this, and I can't wait to use it. And yet, you know how it is with sticker books, you almost don't want to use it because it's so nice. Now here's some more steampunk stuff with the hot air balloon and old-timey transportation. Yeah, so sticker book, love it. Really, really excited about that. The other thing that was just so pretty, and I was just over the moon. This was a surprise. This is a tea set with all different kinds of teas in the most gorgeous floral packaging. And I am all about florals, in case you couldn't tell. So let's have a look at this and see what kinds of teas are in here. So, I could go a long time talking about things I've learned in the past decade plus, and I don't really want to get, again, preachy, but there's a few things that I think are worth talking about. I didn't used to have a sense of humor, really. I was always very serious growing up. It's not like I didn't have a sense of humor, but I just didn't really know how to make jokes and things until I became a software developer. I was very blessed to have a team that had a good and wholesome sense of humor when I first started working. And I'll tell you, I mean, it's so important to have a little bit of levity in your life and, try not to take things overly seriously, even if you're a serious person by nature. So we've got chai tea, white orange spice, more chai tea. It looks like there's a few duplicates here, so I'm just going to read one side here. Earl Grey tea, English breakfast, mulled spice, apple cinnamon, afternoon tea, and chamomile and lemongrass. I already opened this earlier, but I just gotta say this white orange spice is amazing. Similar to the sticker book. I haven't tried these yet because it's like once you break into them, it just, I don't know. I'm one of those people that is a little bit, what's the word? Inhibited from breaking into things with perfect packaging. Knowing that I'm probably going to tear it. So, I'm trying to remember how I opened this before. Here we go. Sorry, my fingernails look absolutely horrible. I'll tell you what, I'm still struggling all these years later with not biting my nails. Oh yeah, you can't smell it, but pretend you can smell it because it smells so good. Very, very aromatic and orangey as you would expect. So wonderful. So I'm going to try that later. Fits back in the box so perfectly. Yeah, love tea. I love herbal teas, all kinds of teas, green teas, black teas. This is just right up my alley. Okay, so another thing that I had put on my list, which is kind of deviating here from the theme, but this is the DVD of the movie Dune, and you might be thinking, Marion, why do you need the DVD when you actually have, HBO and you can just stream it? Well, you know how it is. Over the years, what usually happens is movies kind of move from streaming service to streaming service. Oops. And I like having a digital, like a physical copy of things, and I also, I don't want to have to buy every streaming service to always be able to access something. Even if it finds a permanent home on HBO, which I am not sure if it will or not, but I just like having a copy of it. And it's kind of like a backup, I guess. Let me see if I can open this with some scissors. Because I don't know about you, but I like hearing the sounds of packaging. Hopefully I'm not the only one. I don't know why DVDs in particular are always finicky to open, but okay. I think I just needed to find the right end here. So yeah, Dune, we are still reading this. Nigel and I still enjoying it. I think I just passed page 100 not that long ago. So moving along at a good clip. Science fiction isn't something I've featured on this channel much, but it's something I've always enjoyed. And it's nice to come across something later in life. I say that as, I'm not like 60 here, but it's nice to come across something that you didn't come across as a teenager and just be able to really get into it and everything. So I have to say I like this cover design a lot better than the teal one, even though teal is one of my favorite colors. It's actually my favorite color. But I feel like this cover design is so much better than the other one. It's got more of that sandiness look to it. Sorry, that's not really a very good description, but it's got kind of that hazy desert look to it. It does suffer from like, let's put as many people on the cover as possible, but it just gives a better, more serious vibe than the teal background poster that you see everywhere. So I'm very, very happy about that too, from a design perspective. And looking forward to watching this again. This will be the third time I see it. All right, now you may be wondering, did you ask for any books this time around? I did not ask for any books, but I got a surprise book and I couldn't be happier. So my brother saw this at the book sale at the library and he thought of me, and I'll tell you what, I mean, there's nothing more delightful than family members knowing what kinds of books you like. So this is A Peace to End All Peace, The Fall of the Ottoman Empire and the Creation of the Modern Middle East by David Fromkin. This is a very highly rated history of, that time period, one of my favorite time periods to read about, obviously, when Lawrence of Arabia, who happens to be on the spine here, was kind of in the middle of all the, the end of World War I, the political things that happened in between the wars, and just kind of how that region was, divided up after the war. It's very sad history, very, very disturbing, but I, really, it's been one of the most formative pieces of history I've read about so far through the Lawrence of Arabia biographies. So I'm really excited to get another angle on it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if how many references. Okay, he's actually not really referenced a ton in this book, but there's a few, there's a fair number of references to him, but it'll be nice too, seeing the bigger picture, because I'm very familiar with his role in all of this. So this will be kind of looking at other people and what their roles were. I think what I'm trying to say here, though, is that the more I was reading about his life, it really hit home to me how very, very, very political this war was, and just the very peculiar and disturbing outcomes of the war. And it's really led me, it's been part of this bigger track in my life towards just questioning a lot of assumptions and beliefs that I grew up with regarding, imperialism, whether that be British imperialism, I can talk, or American imperialism, which is what we see a lot of today. So, yeah, I have changed a lot in the last 10 years. It was about 10 years ago I started reading history seriously, and that learning and reading about it seriously just transformed my previous assumptions about things, and different people that I met along the way, who had their own takes on different things, some of which I agreed with, some of which I disagreed with, but all very formative, and I can say with confidence that I'm a very different person. And that's something that's been on my mind lately, is how do you, if you have a blog like I do, I've been blogging since 2009 on different platforms, but mostly on what is now classicsconsidered.com. Please check it out. How do you reconcile this long history of book reviews and blogging and now YouTube videos? I mean, I'm also changed greatly from who I was when I started making videos. I've come to different conclusions and thoughts about a lot of things, and how do you go forward with that kind of background? I mean, I'm not kidding when I tell you I've been seriously considering or contemplating the idea of just starting over the channel, starting over the blog. Okay, I haven't really, I've never gotten to a point where I'm yes, I'm really thinking about doing that, but it's just kind of an idea that's floated past my brain, and it's a decision I've had to make, especially with the YouTube channel. I think it's got all that history in it, my own history, right? And what happens when somebody finds an old video or an old book review and it no longer reflects what I think, maybe, or maybe it's, just not to the caliber I want it to be anymore. This may be a bunch of navel gazing, but I thought I'd just let you guys know that, because I realize some of you may have come here from older videos and may think that I am the same person I was in 2018 or whatever. And there's things about me that haven't changed, but I am very conscious that I'm moving in different directions now. And that's okay. I ultimately, at the end of the day, I've decided to just stay on course, keep using this channel, keep using my current blog. And I think it's important for people to see the evolution of a person too. It may be not to everyone's liking. There may be people that decide they don't want to follow me anymore, or they don't, that they may find it just too dissonant from what I used to do on videos. But that's up to them. That's perfectly fine. There's no obligation for people to remain followers, and I would always, advise people to just follow the content that you value. And if that changes, if the person you're following changes, then you have to realize that that's just how people are. YouTubers are normal people. Most of us, right? We don't have a giant team of people working for us. We are not necessarily trying to be a public figure or public persona that never changes, just some thoughts there. And then just sort of finishing up here, I can say that in spite of all the things I've been through, and there's been a lot of dark stuff in my life I haven't talked about on the videos, my faith is still there, and I've always kind of gone back and forth on how do I want to present that on the channel, how do I want to present that on the blog. And I think that's one thing I'll probably just kind of continue as is. I like working it into my videos from time to time. I like, honestly reviewing books about religious topics as I read them, just like any other book that I would read. There's so much I would love to say more about my faith, because it's just remarkable to me that I still have faith, for one thing, and my love for God has grown and changed because my understanding of God has grown and changed. And there's just so much I'd love to share there. And I think, though, that I like the balance I have right now on the channel, so that'll probably be more or less the same going forward. I might try to work in a little bit more faith topics if I feel called to do so. And then for those of you who aren't aware, I do have a personal blog. It's called Gifted with Thought. I'll link to it in the description if you're interested. But, that's where I'll be a lot more, faith focused. And, for those who are interested, it's there. I don't want to come across as being any kind of preacher. This is just my personal experience, and it's something I do feel like is the most important thing in my life, my relationship with Christ. And I do want everyone to have that loving relationship, but I would rather that people seek, and that it's there for those who seek, rather than me trying to say work it into every video or whatever. So that's kind of my thinking on this. That's probably more than I've ever explained about that before, but I'm just so very grateful for all of you who are watching my videos, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever that may be. I will not be making videos as frequently as I used to, maybe, but I have every intention to continue making videos and make them better and better. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.